Do you ever catch yourself scowling at the TV, or worse, spending 20 minutes telling the cashier about your lower back problem when she didn't even ask you to tell her? Look, we've all been there. It's incredibly easy to become a grumpy old man, even without trying. But today I'm going to share my secret weapon to stop the slide, a simple tactic that I call say yes to everything. I'm Patrick, and if you want to keep your friends, reconnect with the grandkids, and actually enjoy this modern world, stay tuned, because we're going to break out of comfort zone, and trust me, it's a lot more fun than complaining about the neighbours. Let's go. Let's be honest with each other. As we get older, we do tend to get set in our ways. We like our chairs, we like our routines, and we definitely like the things the way they used to be. But there is a fine line between being settled and being a grumpy old man. I'm Patrick, and today I want to talk to you about how to stay on the right side of that line, and it starts with a little experiment that I like to call say yes to everything. Now, I don't mean say yes to a scammer or go and buy a bridge that someone's selling. I mean making a pact with yourself or your partner that if an invitation comes your way, even if it's last minute, that you have to say yes. Obviously, unless you're physically unable or have a prior commitment, you're going to go. I've had many friends try this, and the feedback that I get is quite hilarious. People end up watching movies they thought they'd hate, but they love them. One friend found himself in an obscure art museum, an art gallery, and had the time of his life. Last minute dinner invites, they're almost always better than a night of sitting on the sofa scrolling through Netflix. Why? Because it breaks the grump cycle. It forces the world back in. There's more to come in a minute. However, please take a second to subscribe if you enjoy my content. I really would appreciate it. The channel is aimed at those over 55 who are fed up of hearing that they're old, they feel young because they are young, and want some motivation to keep challenging the very real threat of ageism. We talk about getting out of your comfort zone like it's a fitness slogan. But let's actually do it. Start small. If you've driven the same route to the shop for the last 20 years, stop it. Take the long way. Turn left where you usually turn right. It might take 5 minutes longer. We'll actually see the world instead of just moving through it like a ghost. Here's a fun one for you. Next time you're out for dinner, when the server comes to take your order, look them in the eye and say, "Bring me the most interesting dish on the menu. Don't tell me what it is until it hits the table." Now I know you're thinking, what if I don't like it? Well, so what? You're going to probably eat again in a few hours' time. And it's one meal. I know a chap who did this, and the server brought out grilled squid. He nearly broke his promise and sent it back. Tried it, and you know what? He absolutely loved it. It's not about the squid, it's about the risk. Here's another one. Why not take a class? But again, with a rule. Learn something that you know nothing about. If you're an engineer, take an art class. If you're an artist, take a business course. Again, I've got a friend who's a retired medical consultant, took a pottery class on my advice. A few weeks later, he said to me, "Well, the art world didn't lose a master when I became a doctor." He hated the pottery, but he made 2 new friends during the class, and they're grabbing drinks next week. So there's the win. Now let's talk about the organ recital. You know what I mean. You get a group of friends together, your age, and within 5 minutes, it's a detailed breakdown of sleep patterns, digestion, knee replacements, and the latest pharmacy woes. I have a rule for social gatherings now. After the first 5 minutes, the first person to mention a medical problem has to pay for the wine. It's amazing how healthy everyone suddenly feels when there's a bottle of Merlot on the line. Keeps the conversation positive. While we're at it, can we also stop moaning about the younger generation? We're always complaining about them. Yes, they're on their phones. Every time you see them, they're looking at their phone, walking around. They don't call you. They don't listen to voicemails. But have you noticed how much more open they are? Today's young adults are often colorblind to race and more comfortable with different gender identities in a way that we never were. They've got different views on things like legislation or politics. We don't have to agree with them. You have your values, and that's fine, but try listening to why they believe what they do. Avoid that blanket condemnation. And remember that if your grandkids are too busy to call, it's because the world is a lot more competitive now than it was for us. They're working their tails off, so give them a break. Now, there is a real danger of becoming what I call a geriatric technophobe. I had a friend who bought a new car, had all the bells and whistles, lane changing alerts, automatic braking, super duper Bluetooth, designed to keep him safe. But he hated all the beeps, and he was so disturbed by all the flashes and sounds. He didn't understand that he traded it back for an older model that didn't have these features. He felt more at ease, but he was much more at risk, really. So it's really about our attitude toward the new. I remember a gym that I was going to replaced all the old equipment with some new high-tech fancy machines. The older members were furious and they grumbled about it for weeks. Meanwhile, the kids walked in, read the diagrams, and just got to work. After a month, the older members realized the new machines were actually better for their joints. The only hurdle was the fear of the unfamiliar. And that's the point. Technology changes. Windows updates, phones change, Instagram becomes TikTok, and eventually TikTok will become something else. The question isn't whether you can learn it. You can. The question is, do you have the attitude to try it? Who remembers our parents rallying against a push-button phone in the home because they like the old rotary dial one? It seems silly now. But don't be the rotary dial person in a touchscreen world. We know the old saying, you're as old as you feel. But I hate to break it to you, but to the outside world, you're only as old as you behave. Being grumpy, judgmental, and rigid doesn't feel good to you, and it certainly doesn't feel good to the people who love you. Life isn't perfect, and the music today, look, I don't get Chappelle Roan or SZA either. I'd much rather listen to Duran Duran or the Human League. But just for the fun of it, over the next week, try being enthusiastic. Text your grandkids. Visit a neighborhood that you haven't seen for years. Don't try to win every argument, just listen. Life is an adventure, but only if you show up for it. So let's make a deal. Don't be a grumpy old man. Be the person people actually want to sit next to at dinner. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you're going to say yes to something new this week, tell me what it is in the comment. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And if you feel you want to see more of me, then please subscribe. It really does mean the world to me. May your God go with you, and I'll see you next.